Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project on a landfill already.
And there you have
that one before.
No. We'll talk about that one.
Terrible idea.
What's up?
What's going on? I still need to build some kind of an intro because they don't have the countdown things anymore.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I keep forgetting about that. But oh well.
We're here though.
Yeah, we are here. We'll wait for some people to filter in and get to it. As always, if you're joining us now, that's awesome. If you're joining us later while you're doing stuff, then that's awesome too. Nico is here. Homer's here. Homer Lex.
What's up, guys?
Nico had I guess the pattern for the USBC Queens tournament is kind of weird, but it's Nick Hoagland and it's a USBC Master or USBC Major, so of course it's going to be weird. He doesn't really do anything else, so we're going to take a look at that and talk about that. Because PWBA is owned by the USBC, Nick designs the patterns for all the tournaments, and I don't know why they have. I was going to say why they have such a hard on for the ladies, but anyway. Yeah, it was too good of a joke to leave it. Hi.
Storm thought that was funny too. So.
You. Woof.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about the bologna tournament too. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bologna that they for some reason, or they call it Bologna. But hi, Pickles. You're a happy little pig, aren't you? Oh, I know. Mama's not home yet. Mama's not home yet, so I can't feed you.
She's like, you better give me some food.
What you talking about, Piglet? That's what you want. Hannibal the cannibal over here.
Back we are after about a month off. It's been kind of a nice little break.
Yeah, we had some stuff to do. What's this look like? Background?
Luke had some stuff to do. I didn't have much going on, but and you guys don't want to see me solo. That would be boring. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know what this is, but it looks cute. Hi, Pickles. I know. You're too chubby, sweetie.
Look, did you see the Women's Nationals looks like a house shot? And I tell you what, they're making them look like they're a house shot.
Yeah. Let me see. Chatty chat overlay. There we go.
There it be. Yeah, I like having that overlay there.
Yeah, the tournament sucked. The bologna, I don't know why they call it bologna because it's summer sausage, but the summer sausage was great. The tournament was terrible.
What?
I've never bowled on fresh conditions that dry before in my life. And I am talking KC Bowl. I'm talking Summit with the old surface. I mean, I'm talking Belton, Olathe East house shot. Nothing compared to how dry these lanes were.
Well, we get Olathe East house shot on Sunday. So
yeah, unless
you're not bowling.
I don't think we're bowling now.
Okay.
Because I had completely forgotten all about it, and I haven't heard anything about it. And then one of my cousin's kids has a graduation party on Sunday, so we're going to be going to that. So we will probably not buy things. I just completely forgot that it was coming up this fast. So
yeah, there's a lot of that going on this weekend. I'm kind of surprised they actually decided to run that tournament this weekend.
Yeah, this and the next couple weekends are graduation weekends, so they're probably not going to get a whole lot of turnout for that, unfortunately.
And then the following week they've got Memorial Weekend, so they've got the Memorial Day tournament. So,
boy, I did come back with stuff. Actually, I got to thank my son-in-law for this. Boy, and I got him back real. I told you I'd tag you back. I got him back real good. So anyway, this is called a sorbetto. They have these up in they're in York. This one's in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, which is close. but they're smoothie beers, and I've had you try them before. And Trevor, this is the funny thing. You know, Trevor hates sour beers just as much as you do.
Yeah.
Loves these things. He sent me with a couple $100 and said, "Man, you just bring me back everything you can." And I stuffed a cooler full, and I brought back everything that I could. And these are weird. They taste like smoothies. They don't really taste like beers. They're sour ales technically, but this is sorbetto number 87, sour ale with blueberries, bananas, walnuts, maple syrup, vanilla, and cinnamon.
Whoa.
And then it sounds disgusting. And then you taste it, and it's like, why does this taste good? And I don't understand, but
It's so bad.
yeah, this is a smoothie beer.
How thick it is, my God.
Yeah.
That looks like you're getting it does look like a damn smoothie. I don't know why I'm laughing so hard, but it looks awful.
And it tastes like blueberries, bananas, walnuts, and maple syrup. I can't really taste the vanilla or the cinnamon. I'm sure it's in there. I'm sure it's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
I'm the weird one. Like, I don't like cinnamon either, but you know the cinnamon Pop-Tarts? I used to tear those up as a kid, man. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know why. I didn't like them though in the toaster. Like to eat them just cold.
Yeah. I was always more a cold Pop-Tart person than a warm. Now toaster strudels, on the other hand,
Well, yeah, you gotta.
couldn't eat them cold because they were frozen. But I mean, I
you
guess.
could sure as hell try.
Yeah.
Give it a old college try.
Yep, we do have a lot to talk about since the last show.
Yeah.
Have to play the new Doom game. I might have to check that out. I have a lot of things to do.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know there was a new Doom game. So
I didn't know it was out yet. I knew that there was a new one coming, but I thought it was still out there a ways.
all right, well, I'll have to partake.
Women's Nationals does look like a house shot. We are going to talk about that. It is basically a house shot. I mean, there are 800s and 300s and whatever else all over the place. It's like every single day they're just more honor scores and record setting, whatever else. It's a house shot.
Why can't we bowl on that?
Mm-hmm. Right. The team pattern this year depresses good bowlers, let alone the rest of us.
It was hooky.
Yeah.
PWBA was in Topeka last week for the first stop of the 2025 season. I did not personally go. Amanda actually went on Friday night last week for a little bit.
Okay.
I couldn't fathom spending $50 for me to go watch one block between the two of us. So
yeah,
she's really good friends with Valerie Bercier. So she went up to see Valerie, and I guess there was I can share. Excuse me, I can share this. So Brianna Clemmer was bowling to the right of Valerie, and John Bercier was there with her. And I guess Amanda said that she got to the 10th frame. She goes, "I'm going to look at another ball here in the 10th, on a fill ball or something like that." And she goes up there and rings a 10, and she throws plastic at it. And she walks back, and John's like, "Wouldn't recommend that, but that's all right."
Yeah.
But no, I didn't get to see it in person, so I didn't really know how things went at Westridge. But you could tell the twister pins really kept the scores down. The carry looked awful.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot of complaints about the racks. The racks were a lot of complaints. A couple of videos I seen posted out there, they were complaining about the racks.
Yeah, well, Crystal Elliott left a Lily.
Saw that. I was watching Bowl TV at the time.
That girl shits on it.
She throws it really good.
I mean, I would be really interested to ask her how many of those she actually has, because that just doesn't happen normally.
No.
And yeah, I would at least have thought that they would have fixed the racks and done stuff like that. I mean, the center topography is what it is. It's never been great, but it's kind of helpful. It doesn't help on house shots. It's a whole lot more helpful on difficult conditions. And the twisters there actually are not bad. They're significantly worse at gauge than they are at Westridge. But when you have bad racks and twister pins and Nick Hoagland conditions, I don't think any of that was going to go well. I also didn't go, and that's kind of a Greek tragedy to have a PWBA tournament. I've talked for years about how much I like like the PWBA, but I just was not. I'm just not gonna.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Not gonna step back in the center. So
well, I think they did actually stop a couple times to work on the racks in the middle of play.
I mean, they've been so bad historically. I mean, it'd be like having a one of those at Olathe East or something.
Oh God. Olathe East is bad too, but yeah, no, the racks were really bad. You could see it just watching on Bull TV how wretched it was. But
yeah,
Nick, it was definitely a Nick Hoagland pattern. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I don't have an issue paying $60 for the weekend or whatever it is to go watch the women bowl, but that all goes to the house. And
yeah, it was $25 a person per session.
Yeah, no thing. And did you see that other weird thing that they had? Let me see if I can.
Trios?
Yeah, the trios thing that does not make any sense whatsoever. Like, I don't understand. I first of all, I didn't hear about it. It's like they canceled it.
And it was posted a while ago.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing about it, and then it was freaking weird.
Yeah, they canceled it a few weeks after they posted it, but they just had no interest in it. I want to say a lot of it had to do with, what was it, the entry fee, or I don't remember what it was.
Well, it was a couple different things, and I just
lineage was super high too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just insane what this even was to begin with. I'm like, why would anybody have wanted to bowl this in the first place?
I might be able to find it.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up here.
Okay, sweet, good deal. Are you sharing it on the screen?
Yeah. All right, so this was going to be kind of like a Topeka Open Trios, and it could be any of the PWBA members, collegiate members, people around town, or whatever else. They're coming into town. You want to, kind of spice some things up and see, okay, they're making the trip out. Let's try to sweeten the pot a little bit, get some interest, maybe some better bowlers around here want to shoe up and try to make some money or whatever. But there's a lot of rules for this, how simple this tournament ended up being. You have to be 18. All prizes will be paid out in cash, and you had to determine how this affects their eligibility. It's $360 a team, which is $120 a person. That's not anything crazy. But $300 going to the prize fund and $60 for lineage and expenses. Okay, whatever. But each team will bowl 3 games across 6 lanes. So you're bowling 3 games, and it's $20 lineage and expenses a piece. Number one, that's the first red flag. Teams will be ranked based on their total team score. Their one cash prize for every 1 and 4. That's kind of standard.
Yeah.
Optional side action brackets and high game pots. $120 for 3 games is, or $100 prize fund for 3 games is a lot. And if you're already there, like most of the women work, most of the, they
full-time jobs. Yeah,
they work full-time jobs. And so they're not going to be out there. Most of them are not going to be out there. They're not doing this full-time. They're not going to be out there on a Wednesday anyway. So this would be more open to local people. And I don't know how many people want to pay $120 to bowl 3 games. You just can't. That just sounds like a bad idea, especially with brackets and high game pots and whatever else. This needed to be like that should have been for like 6 games or something. And then all this other stuff, the early registration window and all these different rules and, payments during the early registration, regular registration may be made by cash on site, check or money order, or by credit card. A $20 credit card fee will be added to entry. So if you call up, if you want to, so all these people traveling in from out of town, what are you going to do? You're going to show up and you're going to pay for it with a credit card, or you're going to call in and pay for it with a credit card, or you can Venmo the shot. I mean, this was just a freaking catastrophe from top to bottom, and I have no idea how it was even conceived. And then, why are you going to pay that kind of money for 3 games? There's all kinds of things that can happen in 3 games. I mean, you had the shootout that all this stuff happens at the same time. Lineage is, I mean, you go to the shootout and it's 3 games, but it's $40 and lineage is $12. So all this really was
it's a recoup money grab.
Yeah, it's a money grab because honestly enough, it is expensive to host a professional tournament at your center. I think I don't remember what the number was last time, but I think it ended up costing like 10 grand when the PWBA started out in 2015, and they had it in Topeka, and it cost
10 years ago.
Cost them like 10 grand.
Yeah.
So
actually, weren't they the first event out of the chute with the reboot of the PWBA?
I think so. It was again a May tournament. I think it was the first one, and all that was a money grab. Like, and then it's the centers in Topeka are Boleros without being called Boleros. It's the same thing, different name.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Daria won a show.
What? I didn't. Daria is an amazing marketing spokesman. Don't know if her game is suited for winning. We're just being super mechanically sound. Be nice to see her make a show again. Is what it looks like.
No, be nice to see her make. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Daria is kind of a paradox. You can't really have that type of a game and expect to. Most women don't have that type of a game, so having it, that's why you don't see them. Most of the women, even the ones that do dump on it, can play straighter. Your Jordan Richards and your Crystal Elliott's. You don't have the Michelle Feldmans anymore, and so Daria's game, building more of a high rev men's type of game, it doesn't really work well with what they have to do on the PWBA tour, and so it's more suited for cleaning up weekend tournaments and house shots and looking impressive on video, and that's kind of image is more her direction. I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I think she still does want to compete and she wants to win, but I think her image is what pays the bills, and so that's significantly more important than winning a PWBA title for 10 grand or something like that. I mean, I think and worldwide, her brand and her image is, her total package of
it's her bread and butter. Yeah,
what it looks like on video and what it looks like in a picture. So,
yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, but this weekend led us to another international player winning at the professional level in the United States of America.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure. I think I have kind of a grasp on it, but I don't know why the international players on the women's side specifically just dominate. Like Lee Jane Sin won 4 tournaments or 5 tournaments last year out of the, 10 or 12 that they had or something.
Yeah.
The only time it seems like an American player wins a PWBA title is when the international players are not there.
Yeah,
because
it's got to be something that they do on the international side of the way that the lanes are played out there, and it comes here and it just allows them to dominate. I don't know I don't see enough of the overseas game to really say this is where I think it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is that outside of the Danielle McEwens and Verity's from England, so
she's international.
So there are very few of the women that are able to do it like full-time professionally. So overseas, that is their job. So they're doing that constantly. They never bowl on house shots. And so they're just in it day in and day out. And other people, they either have businesses to run, they run pro shops, and some people, Erin McCarthy's a nurse. So, she just can't. She's got a regular life, and most of them have regular day jobs and regular lives that they try to work this around. The international women do it for a job, and I mean, there's a lot of the guys that have day jobs too, but they're much more. It's much more of a balance, or they do something like what Zach Wilkins does, and they do coaching, or Packy has YouTube or whatever else. So they're still bowling, or they still have more control over their own schedule than whatever else. And this just goes back to what, Jason Couch threw a big fit about the women not showing up to that PWBA, PBA 50 trios event or whatever. It's like, they can't just sure, he's got a day job too, but he works for Bowler's Mart or whatever. So he can just tell, oh yeah, I got a tournament to go bowl. And it's like, okay, see ya. The women can't exactly say, Aaron McCarthy can't exactly just, hey, I want to go bowl this tournament. So can I take, 4 days off from working at the hospital or whatever to go spend a bunch of money when I, am out of practice or whatever else. So.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. They have to. Yeah, guys, like you said, guys like Packy and Wilkins do what they have to do to make supplemental income, right? So they're a little different than, say, most of the women, because like you said, most of the women. I don't know about Verity. I don't know what she does. I'm not convinced that she actually works a full-time job.
She does.
So she must make some money somewhere. She's got to have some money because she literally flies to every stop, and I don't know how they can afford that. But
yeah, I don't know what, because she was a coach of a college. I don't know what she does for income outside of, because she has her and her boyfriend have a YouTube channel, but it's not that big, or they don't put a whole lot into it. So I don't know what she does.
I have no clue. I've always wondered that, honestly.
Yeah, she was a coach for SCAD, but
yeah.
Now that she's not, I don't know.
I think Verity sells feed pics. She does Patreon. Yeah, but she can't make that much off of Patreon, right?
Yeah, I don't
know. I'm not going to judge her.
She doesn't have that many people, so that might be worth like $500 or something.
Yeah, maybe she does something with Kegel there in Florida, but I don't know.
She might work for Kegel.
That's a good possibility. That's where she's always there. So. But yeah, the international women are dominant on the PWBA tour. I mean, like you said, outside of, if you think about it, all the big names on the women's tour outside of a Danielle McEwen are international, right? Like Daria, Verity.
Yeah. Even the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dasha.
Yeah.
Even the ones that we don't think of as being international, there's a whole lot more, Diana Zavjalova.
Yeah, because she's from what?
She's from Latvia, I think.
Latvia, that's right. Thank you.
So I think that, even the ones that we're kind of used to, or the ones that have been over here for a while, they're still from overseas.
Yeah, they're foreign. Yeah, it is what it is. Daria she lives in Utah now. Yeah, she lives with her boyfriend. But she is also the new global brand ambassador. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's the 900 global ambassador. So
did they ever give details on that?
No, I think it's just one of those things where it's kind of a glorified title, but she still does have. Yeah. Again, when you're an ambassador, it's not. It's like outreach and customer relations and stuff like that. It's kind of more. I don't want to call it a fluff title because she does still do things, but it's one of those. She doesn't
make appearances, do that stuff.
Yeah, that kind of deal.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. You have to excuse me for not
kind of
knowing
like
my whole life.
The international face of the brand. So
makes sense. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, she's a good choice for it, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's really big overseas and in Japan and wherever else. I mean, she's got more balls than Belmo. However you want to. No, she's got several of her own name balls overseas. She has had for years. I mean, she's a really big deal internationally. So it makes sense. It just makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. The one thing I'm trying to remember, there's the one thing I was going to bring up about the Topeka deal. I don't remember what it was.
I remember that
the bowling balls getting lost out of the shoot game one.
Yeah, they lost bowling balls, and so they ended up not well. And it's a frickin' mess underneath the lanes because it's just a bunch of stand jacks and 2x4s. And so if you lose a ball off a certain lane, it can just roll wherever it wants to roll. So just because you lost a ball under lanes 21 and 22, you might find it under 3 and 4. You might find it under 31 and 32. So
That's crazy. I'm pretty sure I've lost a ball there, but I can't remember when. I'm pretty sure I've lost one there. But yeah, that was right out of the get-go game one. As a matter of fact, I think that was on Sarah Klassen's pair. I think it was. It was like Sarah and Valerie Bercier, and I don't remember who's on that pair, but I watched more of the PWBA in those couple days on YouTube on Bull TV than I usually do. So
yeah, I didn't watch much. I didn't watch any at all. I had stuff going on, so I
watched all of the PTQ because Raven Henniger, who's I'm really close with, she bowled the PTQ, and she actually was bowling really good until she hit the wonderful pair of 7 and 8, and that really ended her day. I know Mark was there kind of ball repping her, and I was actually going to send him a text when I saw that she was going to 7 and 8, like, yo, this pair is brutal. This is typical of this pair. And I didn't know if he kind of took it with a grain of salt. He's like, yeah, you don't really know shit. But you know what I mean? So I just stayed out of it. And I think she ended up shooting like 130 on that pair.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to, because that's the other thing is I wanted to go watch Julia Bond, and I thought about having her on the show, and I was going to give her the whole scouting report and whatever, and then we didn't have a show, and I'm like, I'm not going to write her this big, long
I get it.
message or whatever, and I think we're going to go up to we're going to try to go up to Omaha for the Women's U.S. Open or Lincoln or wherever the crap it's. I think it's Lincoln, Sun Valley.
Sun Valley, yeah. When is that?
July, August, something like that. It didn't conflict with anything, so
depending on when it is, Amanda might want to go. Maybe we'll go. Jonathan Tiffany, what's up, dude? The soup de chère, yes. Sounds good. I'll have that.
When is it? June 10th through the 17th. So yeah, it's the weekend after we get back from Springfield. So we may not have the money to be able to swing that, but we might go up for a couple days. It's not that far away, so I think we could swing it.
And then we golf that following weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just looking up, yeah.
Oh yeah, June 14th.
Yeah.
So that's right in the middle of it. Dagnab.
Usually we're that first weekend, but it's or the second weekend, but it's they always do it the weekend after German Fest here in town.
Yeah.
And German Fest happens to be that first weekend that we usually golf. So
yeah,
it's gonna be hot.
Yeah, so they got qualifying on Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday is more So Saturday, Sunday is more qualifying, then Monday is match play, and then Tuesday is the finals. So
could always make a day trip out of it, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of rough, but yeah, the qualifying round on Sunday, or we could always go up. I don't know that I want to golf all day and hang out and then try to drive up Saturday and spend Sunday there or whatever. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because we're going to be in the heat all day.
Yeah, it just may not happen, which is typical, but oh well. I don't think there's anything else that's even close. Shut up.
I don't think there is anything else that's close.
Doof.
Drilled a ball. The pro shop operator said it would be a great, or would be a POS, and I rolled it with 680 with it out of the box, right out of the bag with a take of that dude. Boy. I haven't touched a bowling ball in 3 weeks, my peeps. 3 weeks. My finger is starting to finally feel better. And that changes on Sunday. Like you heard us talking earlier, I'm going to bowl Sunday in a 5-man Baker tournament. We picked up Klaus, so Klaus was going to bowl with us this weekend.
Oh, cool.
Waterloo, Iowa is not too far.
Yeah, it's not too far.
It's drivable.
How far is Waterloo?
I want to say 4 hours. Curious.
Directions. 5 hours and 46 minutes.
I was way off. Samsonite.
I was way off. Yeah, it's a bit of a trip.
That's a little bit of a hike.
Lincoln's not. Lincoln.
Lincoln, I want to say, is...
Shut the hell up. No,
glad your fingers are feeling better. Thank you. I appreciate it. Location. Yeah, I've been dealing with that discomfort since probably around Thanksgiving time, and it's been pretty painful. So I decided I was going to take a few weeks off. I'm not bowling anything this summer or league-wise. I told Luke that I'd go sub up in the scratch league with him if he ever needs me, just to keep some reps going. But also, shout out to my daughter before I forget. She won her first tournament as a bowler this year.
Oh, sweet.
She won the in-house youth scholarship tournament at Royal Crest in her division. And she also, her first year qualifying for Pepsi, which is also her first year bowling, she got 4th. So she'll cash in some scholarship money for that. So kudos to her. I'm proud of her. She has quit gymnastics. She is going to start playing softball this summer. She's still doing tumbling, but allows her to kind of bowl more and do things like that. She really wants to get better at bowling. So, so we'll have to learn her.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just the winning the in-house division tournament at scholarship tournament at Royal Crest, $275 in scholarship money. Boom, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
She got to bowl with Russ's daughter that day, and they had a good time bowling together. Leah's a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart.
Yeah, and she's quietly pretty good herself too.
She's not too shabby. No, we get to sit with Amanda and I sat with Crystal and chatted with her pretty much the whole time, and she's also good people too. So.
Oh yeah.
And most of you know who Crystal Wilson is from her Queen show, playing right up the twig.
Yep, the infamous My Favorite Shot video that she always loves being pulled up.
I'm not gonna lie though, that shot is freaking amazing though.
Yeah, and the way she just kind of stone cold walks off from it, like nothing
yeah,
happened.
I did that shit. That was me. I did that. That's back when like the Wichita State girls coming out of there. Every single player that came out of Wichita State is just nails.
Yeah.
Especially on the women's side. The guys, most of them are all pretty good. Yeah. Every female that came out of Wichita State was just a pure shot maker.
Mm-hmm.
So CW broadcasted the PBA. I am actually really excited to discuss this. I'll start with your thoughts. Unless you want me to start, it really doesn't matter to me.
I would say you start, because the first thing I thought of was that's where all television shows go to die.
It is.
Always like if something was on the CW or it got moved to the CW, it's like, okay.
It is.
Fine. But you have some inside info, so I'm going to let you tackle this one.
I don't have a ton of inside info, but so for those that aren't really familiar with the CW, yes, as Luke said, that's where all things go to die, right? But the one thing that the CW has really done, for those that do not follow along, the CW has started to broaden the horizon and started getting into the sports broadcasting. Until this year, they were doing the Live Golf broadcasting. So Live Golf was on CW. They have picked up NASCAR and run the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and they do an amazing job on the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Haven't started doing Cup yet. I'm pretty sure that'll start getting into there. But they are a very big up-and-coming sports broadcasting, and they are a competitor. Don't get me wrong. They do a fantastic job on all their productions. I think this is a good thing for the PBA. It's going to put everybody eyes on them. It's always going to be on a local channel. You don't have to worry about being on Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2. Yeah. When it's broadcasted on the CW, you are going to have your eyes on a local channel, and I think it's going to be good for the PBA. So if you've never seen it, check out Xfinity Series on NASCAR. They race on Saturdays usually, just to kind of take a peek and see what the format is. But they do a really good job. I think this is going to be a good fit and a good partnership for the PBA. Unfortunately, I think the PBA kind of played the FAFO and, F around and find out on their own. And we misspoke the other day. It was Formula One is what we said was taking over the spot for PBA. It's actually IndyCar. IndyCar took it over.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's IndyCar. But no, I really do. I think it's a good move. I'm hesitant to really just say, yeah, no, this is going to work. But at the same time, I'm a little more optimistic than a lot of people because I have watched sports on the CW. They did a good job on the Live Golf broadcast. They've done a great job on the Xfinity Series broadcast, and I think it's going to be a good fit. You're still going to get Randy Peterson, unfortunately. I can almost guarantee it.
It's a good opportunity, I think, to hit the reset button and try it out and do something else. But yeah, for everybody that has slandered Tom Clark over this, I keep seeing it online. It was basically Bolero. It was Bolero's fault because again, everybody, Tom's the CEO. No, Tom is not the CEO of the PBA. He is the commissioner of the PBA. Bolero owns the PBA. He's the guy that kind of runs it, but he doesn't have the higher ups are always the ones that run things. And so basically what happened is that Bolero, put the I was thinking of lost what I was going to say, but basically they wanted something. They bluffed to Fox, and their bluff got called, and then it was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're not doing it.
Didn't they sit at the table and basically say, here's the number we want? And Fox was like, nope, we're good. See you later.
No thanks.
Yeah.
And then it was
Tom Clark's the commissioner of the PBA.
Yeah.
Commissioner, yeah.
And so it's kind of one of those things where I think Bolero, they thought that they had to walk in there all big and bad, and this is Fox you're talking to, and you own the PBA. It's not one of these things is not like the other.
Correct. Now you could see. I'd like to see Kimberly Pressler return. I do like her on the show. I think she's done a really good job coming from not knowing a damn thing about bowling to really getting out there and working hard to be a good sideline reporter. I think she'd be a good fit to carry on the broadcast. Obviously, we all feel the same way pretty much about Randy. Mm-hmm. You won't see Rob Stone anymore. Rob Stone will be gone because he is strictly a Fox guy.
No more.
I wouldn't mind. Dave. Yeah, no, you won't see Fana. I'm curious to see who they get in there, and they do. We all know Randy's going to take it, right? I mean,
gosh, I would really hope that this is an opportunity to kind of switch things up and go a different direction. But
I just think he's got to deal with the PBA that, look, I'm your I'm your broadcast guy until I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I think that it's only 10 shows. I could see them doing some stuff on like CBS Sports broadcasts for a few of the shows, but I think that the CW channel really gives them a chance to get a big tour again. Mm-hmm. They're not going to have the Fox money coming in that they had, but with CW being a smaller sports network and kind of getting their foot into the sports network, could be something where they can really grow that tour. I really think that they can.
Yeah, I think it's a definite opportunity because we've had kind of the same feel for a long time now. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not, but I think shaking things up a little bit, it might be a great opportunity that everybody just doesn't really know yet.
Yeah.
I would like to see Dave Lamont on there because he kind of feels like, Bo Burton and those guys back in the day. He's got that old school feel to him, where he does know what he's talking about, but he's not the, everybody like Rob Stone because he's kind of like really energetic and excited, and people don't like, Infanta tries to ride the line but he's just kind of weird. And then Dave Ryan is too much like Joe Buck. He's just kind of very emotionless and whatever else. But Dave Lamont's got that old kind of classic laid back, I know what I'm talking about, and we're doing a straight broadcast, but we're not like Stone like Dave Ryan.
He's a very solid broadcaster in general. Because I think, didn't Dave Lamont used to do the World Series of Poker for a little bit? Pretty sure Dave Lamont was one of the broadcasters for that, and he was really good at that too. I don't know. I mean, when I saw that it was the CW network, I was genuinely excited. It's not going to hurt the PBA or the PBA. Gosh, we were talking about the PWBA earlier, and I don't want to say, or can't stop saying it. It's not going to hurt the PBA at all having it on local TV, 10 shows, same time, 10 weeks in a row. Eyes are going to be on bowling. It will be on bowling.
Yeah, so everybody's kind of throwing out their opinions for, man, these frickin' gnats love these sorbettos.
Well, yeah. They're like,
get the sorbettos out and then...
So what you're saying is everybody in the comments section here, put your best duo that you can thank for the CW channel?
Yeah, I would put a vote in for Dave Lamont. I think he's and I like Rob Stone too, because he put the work in. Even if he is just faking it, he's doing a really good job at faking it.
Yeah.
But I think Dave Lamont is kind of my favorite. And, if we can't get Rob Stone, but, and I don't even really mind Dave Ryan because he's not there to talk bowling. He's there to run the show.
That's what he does. Yes.
So it's the analyst that I kind of care about, and thinking about if you have Dave Lamont and Chris Barnes on there at the same time, it's a little too samesies. They're a little too close in their personalities. I would love somebody like a Stu Williams. I think he can be a little too cavalier sometimes. So I think that I would like him, but I think some of the more straight-laced people would get irritated with him. I thought Packy did a good job. Norm Duke does a great job. I think he'd be a really good one to have on there.
Norm Duke would be a really good one to have on there. I don't know if Norm could do it like full time like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't. It's just Chris Barnes. Yes, Chris Barnes and Dave Lamont would be a good one. I may be in the minority in this, but as we all hated Fanta when he first started, I thought he was slowly starting to get better. Slowly. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't like, oh my God, he's great now. But no, he was slowly getting better.
He was trying.
Oh yeah,
definitely. You can tell like Dave Ryan it's a job for Dave Ryan. He's just kind of doing it because he has to, and he's putting in the professional effort. Let me put it that way. He's not putting in necessarily. He's not working overtime.
Yeah.
But he's trying to do his job, but he's not. There's a wall there.
Yeah, no, you're right. Dave Lamont and Kelly Kulick. Oh God, I could not do a full season of Kelly Kulick. Is she the one that's like the super monotone? She's up here, yeah. She got a little soft on that shot. She just needs to make a little move left.
She tries too hard to be a professional commentator. Kelly, Kelly's great. I don't, but I just don't. It's tough for me listening to her do the stuff because she's trying too hard.
I agree. Yeah.
Just kind of relaxed and just kind of being the analyst thing. She's just trying too hard.
She just sounds like she's on a golf broadcast every single time.
Yeah, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
Carolyn, bless her heart, doesn't know what she's kind of like a female Randy.
Yeah.
She's the one that she doesn't know any of the ball names. She doesn't follow with. I mean, I've listened to her commentating again, because she does some of the women's collegiate stuff.
She does.
And she has done some of the, back when the PWBA was actually on TV. She has done some of that, but she's kind of the same direct. She's Randy-ish. And so that again is, she's solid at it. And it's not like I want to go, oh God, I got to turn this off because she's on there, but she just, and it's tough to edit somebody like that because she wants to talk about all the high level. That's the difficult thing about, you have to take everything and really boil it down for the viewer. You have to take very technical information, and when somebody turns and says, well, why did they leave that 10 pin? And Carolyn wants to give you a 10-minute answer like I would, but you got to give them a 20-second answer. And that's, sometimes Randy's good at that, but sometimes he's just like, bro, you got to mix it up. You got to do something different, or it can't be the Randy Peterson show. You're trying to get things across to us. And it's obvious that his commentating is more about Randy show. He's like an umpire or a ref that tries to make the game about them and not about the players. That's kind of the thing for me. And Carolyn has trouble editing. And also, again, she doesn't know any of the ball names, and you can tell there's just a kind of a disconnect. And that's kind of what's rough about some of the players, is it's like, I throw the ball. I'm not analyzing all the bowling ball shit and the layouts and I don't know what covers on this ball. I don't even know if it's a pearl or a hybrid or whatever the crap it is. I just know the sound it makes when it takes the pins live.
That's what the tour reps are for, guys. Come on. Yeah.
Sydney,
give me some Pete Weber. Let's do that.
Sydney Brummett is very good at commentating. Sydney Brummett is very good.
All clear, no smear.
I think I would have to second the Andrew Anderson.
Yeah, Andrew Anderson would be a good fit. I think he's too young. I don't think they'll take him because he's still.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think.
You're going to end up with. Let's be honest, everybody. You're going to end up with Randy Peterson again. especially to start the first season on the CW. You're going to get Randy Peterson. You're probably going to get a rotation of the second guy, like a Dave Lamont, guys like that. You're going to definitely get a rotation. But I am really curious to see where the broadcast goes, because it's not like on Fox they said, okay, it's Randy Peterson and this is your dedicated guy every week as well. It was always a rotation, just depending on was Rob Stone available, or if Rob Stone wasn't available, we had Fanta. If Fanta wasn't available, we had Dave Lamont. So hopefully, dude wipes it out. By the way, Kyle Troop's new pants with the dude wipes on the butt cheeks.
That's pretty good.
Yes. Mike Flanagan would be phenomenal.
Yeah,
Mike Flanagan's more of a streamer, in my opinion, than he would be a TV guy. Because Mike's really good at killing dead time.
Yeah,
with a kind of not really rabbit trailing, but keeping it. And that's what Mike Flanagan is really good at.
Yeah, he's a talker. That's something that I could do too. I would be awful on a live broadcast, and I was awful the one time that I was on there. But my thing would be, again, we're watching a block and it's going to be 6 or 7 hours. I can talk through the dead time of that, but doing a TV thing, and that's again where I think, Flanagan. I think that's a great point. That Flanagan's much more, just let him talk, let him go, let him put some people in the booth, and he's a guy you want to hang out with for 6 to 8 hours during 5-6 hours during a block or whatever.
Super nice guy too.
I think it would be difficult for him to, again, edit himself on a broadcast.
Randy must make $20 each time he says the plug, and it's probably they actually probably tell him he has to say certain things a certain amount of times. Yeah,
there's a certain amount of time. There's a certain amount of things you have to say, and like I said, the producers are in your ear like the entire time.
Right. Actually, if you sit and listen, you can actually hear sometimes in the broadcast the producers talking in their ears. When it's super quiet, you can hear it.
It's like every 30 to 60 seconds with something, whether it's like, okay, we're going to even something about, okay, we're going to this camera, or we're about to put up this graphic, or we're going to put this on the screen. So because they're the ones that control if they're advertising, okay, the PBA is going to historic whatever Thunderbolt lanes and whatever next week. They'll tell them, hey, we're going to put this graphic up. This is your cue to know what's coming, so that you can talk, so you can look at your sheet, so that you can tell, okay, we're going to this and whatever else. And then it's like, Dude Wipes is the official sponsor of the PBA, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, we're going to put up the Dude Wipes advertisement. Now we're going to put up this advertisement. We're going to go to this camera, or they're going to go to, now we're going to do the player intro. And so they can give you those cues so that if you need to kill some time, or if you should stop talking, or whatever else. It's really pretty fascinating.
No, it really is. Yeah, it's time for a promo. Here comes a promo. Yeah, it's Tommy Jones. Maybe he's still bullying, not as competitive. I don't think that's Tommy's cup of tea.
No, it'd be like Bill O'Neill would be funny in there too. But again, it's just not.
There you go. There you go. Paul's on the right track. Get Pat McAfee. You're damn right. Pat McAfee, get on here like, here we are on this bowling program.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Thunderdome. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God. He went there.
Yeah, I think Max is actually in Las Vegas right now. I should have sent him something, asked if he
met up with Lou.
Organized to get together.
Yeah. Sure, that went well. Well, I can tell I haven't worn these ear monitors in a while. They hurt.
Yeah.
Not used to it in a while. No, I'm really curious to see, though. I do think we're going to get a rotating of the partner. I think you're going to get Randy, and his partner is going to be a rotation. I would like to see, though, some players every once in a while. That'd be cool. It would be cool. But, yeah, no. Like I said, I'm excited for the direction of it. Is it Fox? No, it's not Fox. But I think it's a good step for the PBA to be able to help grow that brand, because they are trying to get more. It wouldn't shock me at some point in time if you see some games on CW and football. College football. I believe there's some college football on CW as well. So we'll see how that goes, because it could also open some things up for the PWBA. You just never know. But see.
Yeah, I would. Well, and see, this is, I don't know if you know who Sarah Bowles is. She's
Yes, I know who that is.
Random chick that decided to start bowling on Instagram, and she's basically like Jennifer. If Jennifer Lawrence bowled, that's kind of her shtick. She's kind of the tough, kind of the tough tomboyish chick, and she would specifically because she's a little awkward on camera. That would be a riot if she did like the pressing question segment. If they just gave her a microphone and had her go talk to the players. Now, I still like you said about Kimberly. She tries, and she's really good. And I like those pressing questions are always hilarious. They're great, and she's the one that comes up with them. She's not, and she puts in the legwork and does all that stuff and talks to everybody. And yes, she's great. She's just not the eye candy that it's like, oh, let's find a former Miss USA or whatever and stick a microphone in her face.
Is she a former Miss USA?
She's a Miss whatever state it was.
Okay. So I thought she was. I knew she was close, but she's really put in the work.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's great. So I hope. Hopefully that's a PBA thing and not like a network thing. And I would think that the CW would, because that's all she does is bowling. So I would say that's like, yeah, Kimberly, should be, even if she does kind of follow hopefully she follows the TV contract.
She did follow from ESPN to Fox.
Yeah. So I think that's a PBA affiliation that just says, okay, this is our thing that we're putting in, and so.
CW broadcasts NASCAR Xfinity Series. Yes, they do, and they do a very good job. I don't know. I was talking about it when we first started talking about it. So yeah, they do a really, really good job. The production is good, presentation is good. It's good. I'm excited. It's going to be different. It's going to be different because the Fox did such a good job with the PBA. It's kind of kicking the groin, because when they first moved over from ESPN, we were like, man, this is great. And it was great, right? It's Fox. It's anything to get away from ESPN at that time, because ESPN just basically shit on the PBA. And it's like, okay, is this over? Can we wash our hands of this now? Fox says, well, yeah, we'll take you. And it was good. So
yeah, the Fox thing is kind of old. Now I'd like to see him kind of switch things up. And Justin Wyman does the sets.
Yeah.
So I am interested to see if the CW is going to do their own thing. I have never been a big fan of the tight quarters, fans lined up down the side of the lane shit. I kind of like the old school,
they put them behind you.
Yeah, just put them behind you, and so you don't have the distractions going down the side, and then all these flashing lights on the stupid screens, and as they're flipping through the advertisements every 5 seconds, and I would just, everybody's got to deal with it, but I would just hate it as a bowler. I know that Anthony Simonson has said something a couple times about, it's like, well, the freaking thing flashes and it glares on the lanes, and
yeah,
it's bad enough having a flickering deck light or something. I can't imagine having all that extra crap going on all over the place.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So have you said if you think it's going to stay in the January to May timeline? They're going to have to switch when the season is. No, I think it's going to stay in that same timeline. It's going to stay in the same timeline. I do think.
I would say so.
Depending on how the success is, I could see the tour getting longer. Getting back to a longer tour like it should be, because these guys need to be bowling. They need to be bowling.
I know the deal is only for 10 tournaments, right? Or 10 shows.
And they said, though, 10 shows, but they said they're working on other stuff to make the season longer, too. So
yeah, that might just be a preliminary, okay, well, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's just do this to get something for now, and we'll figure it out later.
My guess is that the CW is going to have a chunk of the World Series, which will be included. That's 4 shows, 4 or 5. You include the World Championship, right? 5 shows?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I'm excited. You never know. Trying new things always sucks, but.
And I'm sure with something like the World Series of Bowling, they might it's like, okay, well, let's just do this on Bowl TV. I'm sure they've got something with they can put some stuff on Bowl TV if they need to while they're figuring the rest of the stuff out. I don't think it would be that big of a deal. And especially for that, they would probably have some kind of World Series of Bowling pass where it's just the week and a half or World Series of Bowling, or just a monthly fee for it or something. But
I do think they'll end up with a side deal with like CBS Sports Network, though.
Yeah, there'll be something else, or they'll probably expand it on the CW. But the CW also might be, it's like, okay, well, let's start here and let's see how this is going to go first. before we start talking like 20 tournament contract or something. So,
how's the World's going to work if it's only on Sunday? I don't know. It may be spread out and it could be taped. They never said. I don't know. Did they say they were all live? I think they did say they were all live shows. So yeah, it could be. I don't see the World Series of Bowling though getting put on Bowl TV. Bowl TV is so freaking awful.
Yeah, it's really bad. They would have to do some extra production stuff to do that.
NASCAR switches between several networks throughout the season to be able. Yeah, they do that on the Cup side. I think this is the first year. No, I think Xfinity and Truck Series have always stayed on the same network. But yeah, the Xfinity Series is exclusively on CW.
And some of these, I mean, that's not a bad point, is that some of these other networks, instead of making a big commitment to one network, it's like, okay, well, if you sell the World Series of Bowling to this network, and then because they can use that to fill time on their side at the same time, it's like, okay, well, it's like, okay, well, we're going to have a slow weekend here. What do you got for us here? And so they can mix and match instead of, okay, we're committed to doing this no matter if there's other things going on. And so that does kind of work out.
They'll need to bring in some new sponsors, expand the event schedule. Wonder why. I think they will. Dude Wipes is actually, I know it's kind of a comic thing, but Dude Wipes is actually a very big brand. They're, for those that don't watch the Pat McAfee show, they're a very big sponsor of the Pat McAfee show. We'd like to see some more big sponsors come in. Obviously, we would like to see the beers. Who was it? Was PBR? Was it PBR that was in there for a bit?
PBR was in there for a bit. Yeah. And I think that they tried, after the whole Budweiser and everything else, they tried to kind of distance themselves a little, because they used to have beer and bowling used to go, I mean, was like that 40 years ago. And then I think that they kind of tried to distance themselves from it. And I remember specifically that Storm had asked me when I started doing the shows or whatever, like, I think that's why I stopped doing Beer Frame, was because it's like, well, we do a lot with the youth. And so we don't, want to see you drinking anything when you're doing something with one of our logos on and you're one of our staffers. And so I think that's why I stopped doing the beer thing. Or actually, he asked me to take down, because I had that sign. I had a bunch of beer signs in the background, and so that's why I had the big glowing like Storm and Roto Grip sign in the background, because they asked me to take all the beer signs down.
Yeah,
because of what they did for the youth, and now they're kind of going back on that a little bit, and things change. So I was like, oh, now you got your own beer, but you told me to take my signs down. It's like, well, that was years in between that, and things changed and whatever else. So at the time, it was a thing, and now it's kind of relaxing, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Odor Eaters and Trojan condoms. Actually, Odor Eaters was big in the PBA there for a couple years.
That was that's a kingpin joke.
Yeah, Odor Eaters was big in the PBA there for a few years, but there's some sponsors out there. They just got to find a way to market themselves the right way, and once they do that, they'll attract more.
I might have to ask. I might send something to Justin and ask him if he's talked to anybody yet about continuing to do the sets, or if that's going to be
He's the former Motive guy, right? Actually, he's
back with Motive. But yeah.
By the way, for those that have not seen some of Justin Wyman's old school Motive ball videos, you're missing out.
They're still better. The old videos, the like 15-year-old videos, are still better than a lot of the stuff that's out right now.
The original Jackal Ghost video for the ball release for Motive when it came out was like goated. He
kind of is the goat. So
it's so good. Do yourself a favor and look up the Jackal Ghost original ball review for Motive. That's just like a tip of the iceberg. It's so good.
Yeah.
You also had Denny's and a Lumber Liquidator. Yeah. Yeah, they were title sponsors of the PBA, but yeah. I mean, PBA could go back to title sponsors again too. But I don't know if Bolero would allow any of that or not. But World Series of Bowling pair sponsored by
Tiger. To put Tiger Balm on this jungle's nuts.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Fucking Kim up here with the blue balls. Balm on this jungle's nuts.
No, but we talked a lot. I could go for days on this whole network thing. I am. I don't like change, but like I said, when I saw the CW was taking it, I never even thought about that because Luke and I actually I think we kind of BS back and forth about it a couple shows ago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, CBS Sports Network. And then we're like, well, maybe they'll do their own streaming thing like they used to do Extra Frame. I never thought about CW. And I think that's a good move because if it's a good relationship, they can really blow that thing up, especially when there's not a lot of competition on top of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they got if they're wanting to broadcast sports, they got to put sports on there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car, we'll pick you up. That's a good spare shooting promo right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's spare shooting promo. Alex, you're hired. Nope. We I think we got through our topics unless you had other things to talk about, so we can just kind of BS with the chat and
we can
ask some questions.
The PBA the PBA Tour finals have gone on. I haven't watched a single second of that. I have no clue what's going on. All I knew is that Kyle Troop lost, and because he put a post on. I know Ryan Barnes finally bowled well on TV, and he didn't just bowl well. So I have seen some of the stuff that's happened, but I don't know what else is going on, and it lasts almost as long as the NBA playoffs. So it's when the NBA playoffs start, it's like, I'll check back in like 3 months.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the NBA playoffs are awful. Like when it comes to the length of it, please explain to me why they can play back-to-back days during the regular season and then go to the playoffs. They cannot play back-to-back days. It makes everything go so much longer.
And it's like Oprah came up with. It was like, you get in the playoffs and you get in the playoffs. It's like
watch the playoffs. I've watched like one episode.
Yeah.
I just haven't had time. I'll be honest. I haven't had time.
It's like you got a losing record, but you can still get in the playoffs anyway.
Well, now they do that play-in game.
Yeah.
Now they do that play-in game, which is actually something I would like to see the MLB do at some point in time. I think a play-in game would be fun. Frontier Airlines, the official travel sponsor of the PBA. See? Honestly, even something like that, though, getting an airline to back you would be huge.
Yeah.
There's opportunities out there. I bet Dude Wipes will come back.
Can someone explain the difference between the PBA playoffs and PBA? I think it's the PBA playoffs and the PBA Tour finals are the same thing.
They are.
I don't think there's any difference.
I think it's kind of silly to have them both, personally.
Yeah.
Because I think if you have the playoffs, you kind of look at it as you crown your true champion of the season, I guess. Mm-hmm. But then the finals, I think, is just another TV exposure money grab.
Yeah, let me look at and then we didn't really talk about the Queens pattern is interesting. We need to talk about that, and then probably we talked about a little bit about the PWBA in general, but didn't talk about the show. So
talk about the Manufacturer Cup either.
PBA. Let's look at Brad Angelo wins the 2025 PBA 50, the Villages Classic.
I do like some Brad Angelo. Come on, Jace. Really, Jace? Come on.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He used to. He was like Tom Smallwood when he got on tour in the first place because he was like 31 or 32, and I think he was a late rookie, and then he took the tour by storm and whatever else, was on a lot of shows, won something, and then he kind of turned into a hard ass, and that was really embarrassing for a little while. And then he kind of got it reined back in and figured himself out. He's a good dude. So
he took some brutal losses though early in his career on TV though. Like he was just so good during the week, and then on TV, it's just like he just tensed up. Which now, as we know, that happens to a lot of guys. So don't get me wrong; it's not uncommon. But his little stutter step always drove me nuts. But to me, his game is so good. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, they called it they said he had the voodoo roll.
Voodoo roll, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched him shoot at single pins though, where he starts his hand on the spare ball?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like starts here. Yeah, and then he like rotates it under. It's really
he does
weird.
The top of the ball and then does the.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that's the thing is he went out there in the first place, and I think he was surprised and just super happy to have success, and then he started taking it too seriously, and then that's when it kind of started falling apart a little bit, and then he evened things out. He figured it out. Let me see.
Actually, one of the coolest moments as a first-time winner, if you go back and watch Brad Angelo, I think it was the Pepsi Championship in Omaha when he won his first title. Like if you're a bowler and you capture your first title from all the things you worked to get there, his emotion that he showed was so awesome. Yeah, like he even picks up the trophy and is like, "This is what I work for." Like it's awesome, raw emotion. You can't beat it. Look that up if you haven't seen that one.
Yeah, actually, they do have the PBA playoffs, and then they have the PBA Tour Finals.
Yeah, that's silly.
So I don't know if one follows the other, or the PBA Tour Finals is at the Steel City Bowl and Brews. I don't know if that's the Elite League Finals.
I thought that's done. Storm won it.
I don't know what the hell.
Storm already won that.
Tournament notes. Yeah, I know that, but I don't understand.
After Motive dominated the year, somehow they fell off the top spot. I still don't understand that, but they did.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just running away, and then all of a sudden, that one tournament, they dropped down to like second or third.
All right. So, yeah, the PBA playoffs are the top 12 bowl, because that's what they're in the middle of right now. The PBA Tour Finals is June 4th through the 8th. Let me see schedule.
I can't get this wire to stop sitting on me. Here we go.
Group 1, Group 2, step ladder. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know what the difference is.
I think it's just the final 4, top 8 or something. Which just isn't that what the playoffs is?
Well, it says the schedule is Group 1, 1, 4, 5, and 8. So it's like top 8 bowlers of something.
Yeah, like Billy just said, it's basically to give CBS Sports Network some content. I get that. Maybe that's a hey, we'll give you this content if you guys pick up some shows later on down the road.
Oh, okay. 1-8-9 winner versus 4-5-12 winner, 2-7-10. So I think it's just the PBA Tour Finals is finishing off the PBA playoffs. Is kind of what it looks like. But they just, again, it starts in frickin' April and it doesn't finish until June. Now, granted, it's the end of April and the 1st of June, but it's still 6 weeks. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I mean, unless you just like watch bowling on TV.
Yeah. I mean, that's all fine and good.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah,
I'll be honest with you, I've taken some shows off.
Yeah.
With me taking a step back from bowling for the summer, not taking a step back. I'm still bowling tournaments, but
they have the PBA playoff, and then they have the PBA playoffs championship, and then they have the tour finals. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't understand.
I think it's just a whole separate tournament
with information.
It's just a whole separate thing that they have.
Oh, tour finals is just the top 8 guys over one, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, EJ Tackett, Simonson, Belmo, Bill O'Neill, Kyle Troop, AA, Marshall King, Grandpa.
So the PBA playoffs is like the top 8 player or the top 12 players, though, isn't it? So it's just a little redundant or something, but I don't know.
The playoffs are like the top however many points. To me, that's the playoffs. It just seems silly to me to have a whole nother thing of basically the same thing, just cut down to 8.
Okay. Here we go. PBA playoffs. Eligibility. Top 12 players in the 2025 PBA points list. Let's look at the tour finals. Schedule. Tournament notes. Eligibility. Top 8 in points from 2024 and 2025 through the 2025 PBA Tournament of Champions. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, they do it every year, but it's just silly. And it, like Nico just said, it will be the final broadcast on Fox.
Okay.
So.
And they have the Lucy in July, and then the Lucky Larson in Sweden. Boy, that'd be fun to go to. I know people in Sweden.
Oh, really? I don't know anybody in Sweden.
Yeah, there's a guy in Discord.
Oh, yeah?
That's from Sweden.
Who is it?
Let me see here.
Now you got me curioso.
Oh, balls. I thought I already had Discord on this. Oh, I can get into it on my phone.
I think I know who it is.
Yeah.
I just can't think of the name.
Yeah. He's in the, let me see.
As soon as you say it, unless he changes the name.
Soft.
What was it?
Soft. He's got a Sweden regional, with Walter. He's got a coaching thread. I haven't.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Talked to him in a minute, but yeah, he's got all kinds of videos from.
Okay.
All kinds of videos from there, and he's he said anytime I come over there, I could stay with him and hang out, and he could show me around. And the guy's literally never bowled on a house shot in his life. And so we talked to him. He didn't understand it.
What?
Because, he was just kind of confused at all. We post high scores all the time. He's like, wow, you guys must be like really good or something. And
you should have said, yeah, absolutely.
And then, through kind of talking through it, it's like, oh, he didn't know what a house shot was. He's never bowled on one because they don't have house shots over there.
What?
So, yeah. So when he's talking about,
how do they make it
being fairly new to it, and he averages 180 or something like that, I'm like, well, damn, that's actually being new to it, on a house shot is kind of like, okay, we got to work with some stuff. And it's like, how do you and looking at some videos, it's like, this doesn't look like it doesn't look like a house shot, because he's asking about things and trying to learn and watch all these videos. It's like, yeah, that's either that ball's drilled wrong or something else. It's like, oh, it shows us a picture of the patterns. Like, he didn't bowl on anything over 4-1.
How? Oh my! Over 4-1?
Yeah. So he didn't even get like chromium.
How does the centers over there even make money? Like, if you did that shit here, you would be out of business.
It's so much more popular because the success is a whole lot harder. It's just like one of those things where you kind of beat yourself up bowling on something tough, but when you do strike or put together a game, or like if you shoot 220 at nationals, it's like, oh my God, I'm super happy. It's shooting 200 at nationals. It's like, yeah, that's freaking awesome. Let's go, baby. And you shoot 200 at league, and it's kind of like, oh, I had a shitty week. Or, you shoot, 660 at league, and it's kind of like, whatever.
I agree with Billy, though. To be fair, they shouldn't have house shots over here either.
Yeah,
I agree, but you would not make any money because all people care about is scoring, especially if you're a 170, 180 average player. You want to come into league and after a long day's work and you want to score. I get it. Not everybody has the same mindset.
The only reason that scores were lower to begin with is because of technological limitations. I mean, they didn't have lane machines, and they had hard plastic and rubber balls, and it's just, you just weren't going to score like you can now. But it's one of those things like, Topeka used to have 6 bowling centers, and now they only have 2, and the 2 that are left are the 2 highest scoring centers in town. That's where the top 10.
Of course they are, because there are only 2 left. No, I'm just kidding.
Top 10 literally killed centers in this town. A free tournament.
That's sad, because I've only bowled at 2.
That has no prize fund.
No, that's a lie. I bowled at North a few times.
Killed centers in town because people would not bowl at certain centers because it would hurt their top 10 average.
What was the one that was on Fairlawn? Over there, where Johnny's Tavern.
Southwest.
Was that a wood center?
Mm-hmm.
How many lanes did it have?
It was basically like Gage North South.
It wasn't owned by
it had
Rex,
24.
was it?
No, it had 24.
Oh, so a decent amount. Okay.
Yeah, it was very, very similar to. It was, Gage North meets Westridge. It had like Westridge's kind of design.
Yeah.
A general layout, but it was Gage North.
Yeah, see, I would have been cool to walk in there.
Westridge's. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was just not the easiest center. So people kind of gravitated. Everybody would bowl at like center and north or meadow, depending on where they bowled the best at. And then when Westridge opened, everybody had to bowl at Westridge, and then they would pick like one of their house because you had to have 2 centers. You had to have a composite from 2 different centers. And yeah, people literally killed centers because of, top 10. So
that's what a true competitive bowler will bowl wherever and take pride in scoring. You're right, but unfortunately, with the mentality of this day and age, this world has changed a lot over the years. Knock anybody that watches this, so don't take this offensive, but everybody likes to stand left, watch their ball go right, and hook off the gutter and come back. That's all they want to see. They don't care. If they shoot 200, they're pissed off. They don't want to come back. All people care about is honor scores and scores. It's getting better, unless you're like in the minority if you want to get better. Most guys want to go, drink beers, play cards with their buddies, shoot as high as they possibly can, and go home.
Yeah, and I get that to some certain degree because, there's people don't want to go and beat their head against the wall after, but it just used to be that bowling was tougher. And so, 220 or 200 used to be scratch, and 180 was like everything's moved up like 20 or 30 pins. And so 200 used to be the number. If you averaged 200, you were good. But if you averaged 170 or 180, that was solid. You weren't bad by any means. It's just like averaging 200 now. If you can average 200 now, you're solid. You're not great, but you're solid.
Yeah.
And it was
probably crazy. 240 is the new 220.
Yeah. Everybody
Am I
was
wrong?
just used. No. Everybody was just used to the lower scoring pace, and so it didn't really matter. So even if you did, even though they were kind of not scoring well, they didn't feel like they were beating their heads against the wall back then because they just weren't seeing. You had some good bowlers, and you knew that they were really good bowlers, but you didn't, see somebody else averaging 210 or 220 and like really feel bad about yourself. Yeah. It's just like you went in there and you shot your 180, and that was pretty solid. So just what they were used to.
And they're also seeing that the scoring pace surrounded by them is also the same thing too. Mm-hmm. See a guy sitting here and I'm bounding my head to shoot 2-0, and this guy's shot 280, 260 his first 2 games. What the hell am I doing here? It's the game has just changed so much. It really is. And I'm not kidding. 240 is the new 220.
Yeah.
People average 240 like crazy around I wouldn't say these parts in Topeka, but between here to St. Louis, you see scores like that everywhere.
Well, and I think the big problem is that when it takes a lot. So scoring pace is very interesting mentally, because if you go to, let's just use nationals because it's tough. You have to bowl really, really bad to feel bad about yourself at nationals. Like if you're not throwing it good and you're missing spares and whatever else, you can feel bad about yourself, but it takes like 500 level. Like if I go to nationals and if I shoot 550 every set this year, I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm not going to be like upset or anything. I'm not going to be mad. But if I went and I shot 600 every set, I would be super happy. On a house shot, whenever you go to a tournament and it's on a house shot, if you don't shoot 2100 or 700 every set, you just don't feel good. And even if you do shoot 700 every set, it's kind of like, okay, I'll take it. It's this will get me a check. But so with house shot bowling, you're never really happy unless you're shooting an honor score. Everything else is just like you're satisfied with it. Even if you shoot 720 or 750, it's like, oh, it's a good night, but you're not like over the moon about it. It's like, yeah, I had a great set in league. I shot 750, whatever, but you're not like over the moon about it.
Yeah.
If you shoot your average, even shoot your, like I was saying, shooting 660, you're almost disappointed when, even if you average 220 and you shoot 660, you're disappointed.
Yeah.
If I average 200 at nationals and I shoot 600, perfect. I'm happy. It's not that I'm just satisfied. Like I'm happy.
You shoot 600 at nationals every set, you're gonna make some money.
Yeah, and so that's if tougher conditions made a comeback, I think people are how people feel about it, because it takes such a high score to feel good about a night of league versus what it takes to feel good or happy about a score on a tougher condition. I think that's why so many people leave it, because it's like, okay, well, either they're averaging 240 and it's a carry contest and it just, okay, well, I'm either going to get the hits tonight or I'm not, but this is not interesting. It's not challenging. It's just kind of expensive and I could go do something else because this is not interesting.
Or just go ahead, finish.
Sorry. Or you can't average 230 or 240, and so you just get pissed and quit. Because everybody thinks it should be free, or everybody just tries to throw the pins all over the place. And so it's just, there's not really anything to be satisfied from with league bowling anymore.
What Remark just said, the same, I mean, spot on. Spare shooting is also not emphasized enough. It's all rev rate and power on strike ball. No, you're not wrong. Yeah. I mean, there's our average savers too. So
yeah, that's the only, it used to be if you were a good spare shooter, that would have like 20 pins to your average. Now it's, you have to string strikes, and if you don't string strikes, I mean, that's the only difference between, I think that's a lot of the reason why, or that's some of the reason that my average was down this year, is that I just didn't carry as well this year as I did last year. I threw it better actually, I think, as a whole this year than I did last year. It just, the pins were more favorable last year. This year they really sucked. And then like our summer scratch league started last Thursday and I didn't know about it, but me and Hoff post bowled last night and I shot 940 for 4 games, which is, 235, but it's kind of like, okay, well, it's a solid night, but it wasn't anything special. And I still made some bad shots and I, missed a 7-pin and whatever else. But it's kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, my average is 235. And if I shoot 940 every single week for the rest of the season, it's like, okay, well, that's cool, but I'm not going to be, it's just, okay, whatever. But again, if it was on a difficult condition and I averaged 205 or 210, it'd be like, man, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, no. Luke and I bowl a tournament every year in Wichita. This is no shit. If you do not start with the front 6 every game, you're not going to make money.
the famous Trevor Baumgartner complaining. He's I don't know how many times he went down this year, like 4 times or something, and he finally popped off this last time that he went. But he was not. Yeah. But he was talking about, it's like, yeah, I need to drill some new stuff because I didn't really have that great of a look. I mean, I was only starting out with like 230 every game. It's like, I know that's not bad, but he's going down there and shooting 720s and 750s and whatever else. But he goes down there to make money, and if you don't start with 250 the first game, you're getting knocked out of half your brackets.
Yep.
So he's like, yeah, I just need those extra couple hits a game because it's a whole lot easier to get to 800. Because in his mind, it's 800 or bust, and if he doesn't shoot 800, it's like, okay, well, that's another wasted weekend. Because he's really looking for 250 plus 250. He's looking for 250 plus every single game.
He did go down to the very last weekend. He bowled the very last team squads, last 2, and he shot 800.
Mm-hmm.
And they did win team event. And team event literally will pay like $3,000 to $4,000 a man.
Yeah, and he loads up in brackets and so yeah,
he said the first squad he shot 800 and got steamrolled in brackets. Watched that guy this year, just to give you guys an example. It's the first time I've ever seen it happen in person, and it happened twice. He shot 279 triplicate 800s this year, twice.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was in Tulsa. Another one was in League. So they were like a couple weeks apart.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to get to this comment real quick. Would a 4x4x4 pin down layout be good for a 2-hander, right-handed, rev dominant? 4x4x4 isn't pinned down. If you're talking 2LS, that's like 4x4x4 is like the 2-handed strong layout. You would need to. It's pinned down is kind of different for 2-handers because it's technically like a 4x4x2 would be like a pin down layout, even though the pin is still going to be above the fingers. Because it's tough to think about it where you have the fingers and the thumb. Well, the 2-hander, they only have the fingers. So you got to think about that on like the midline instead of like as the fingers, just minus the thumb. You have to think about it like as a midline of the grip rather than, okay, we're just drilling fingers. So a pin down, even though it's technically still, the pin is still above the fingers, if the fingers are within 2 inches of the pin, like pin, if you actually put the pin below the fingers, that's like super mega pin down. That'd be like putting the pin down by your thumb or something, because it's, we're talking midline, not fingers. So yeah, you would have to do 4x4x2, and I don't know that they really recommend doing stuff like that unless you want to get a really smooth layout. They don't recommend doing that a whole lot for now. If you're rev dominant, yeah, I would try, 4.5x4x2 or something like that. 4 inches is an awful strong pin, so I'm not an expert on 2LS layouts, so you might ask somebody, you might talk to your pro shop, but yeah, 4x4x4 is just it's not actually a pin down layout. Fall leagues, yeah, I ended in like the absolute worst place possible. I'm like 219 or something. So I'm a couple spots out of being a captain, but I'm also not a very attractive pick either. Because the first 5 captains always want to go for, I think Johnny Clark is probably coming back.
He is not.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
Nope. Staying on Tuesdays.
Okay. Henniger is joining, though. So he's going to be...
He'll be taken by the first pick.
Yeah, he's going to be a name. There was somebody else that I thought I heard that was coming back. So the first couple captains are looking... The first couple picks are looking for firepower. So they're either taking a really... Like, I think that there's a couple big names that weren't captains, or you're going to get a, oh gosh, I can see his face.
Well, we had a lot of captains that were captains that aren't now.
Yeah.
Paul B, that's here. Congrats to you. You'll be a captain this year.
God, I can see it. Kreitzer only averaged like 214 or something. So I would, if I can get a guy like Kreitzer for 214 and then be picking early in the next round, I'm jumping all over that.
I'm at 215, so I might get picked pretty early.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I have one scratch. Let me see if they've got the updated.
I bowled like Chit this year. Absolute Chit.
Statistics. I don't want that.
It was not a fun season.
Bowler history, bowler list. Can we do that? And no, I can't get that by average.
NFL schedules were released today, though, for those that are interested. Just throwing that out there.
Bowler graphs? No, I don't want bowler graph.
What are you looking up?
Bowler comparison. I don't want bowler comparison. I'm trying to look up the average. I don't know how to work league secretary.
I don't either. It's too complicated. Hashtag bowl better. Billy, you're damn right.
Yeah.
It was an awful season. Didn't have much fun. Enjoyed my team that I drafted. Don't get me wrong, but just wasn't too much fun.
Summary?
I'm a captain in my scratch league, but not because I want to be. Should have taken my spot.
Well, let's just look at the standings.
I was awful.
What was I? Okay, I was trying to look at this for something. I'll just
All
look
good.
at the bowler list there.
Hope everybody else had a successful season because, yeah. There's a reason why I'm taking a few weeks off. Not to mention let my body heal up, but yeah. Brady McDonough, how's it going?
Average booster. Bowler list.
Are you really trying to navigate?
I'm gonna
Website?
select. Oh, it's by the. I'm trying to get I want just a list of. It's got it by name. I want it by like average. Let me see.
That is Brady. I didn't even put two and two together as I'm sitting here. Brady, what's up, man?
No, I can't get it by average. There
Brady's in here with us. I just saw the name pop up and I'm scrolling through chats. Didn't realize it was the Brady. The Brady. Hope you're bowling well, man.
On here.
Anything big coming up?
Good sub. Okay. Whoops. Average.
Don't mind Luke. He's just ignoring the celebrity that just joined the chat.
What happened? I'm trying to figure this stuff out.
You're good, dude. I'm just messing with you.
Oh, Bowling Brady's in here.
Yeah. That's what I was just saying. I'm going through the chat and I was just saying hi and talking to people. It's just like, Brady McDonough, what's up, man? And then didn't even realize two and two together. I'm like, oh, wait, it's Brady.
Yep. Ginger Power, the No Soul Mafia.
That just means you're a sleeper for 2025, 2026. Man, I hope so.
Yeah.
I can't be any worse than I was this year.
Yep. The Brady. Yeah, you're the Brady. That's always fun. Are you the Brady? Yep, I guess I guess so.
You should say, no, that's Tom.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Tom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got anything coming up, man? Any big tournaments? I know you bowl a lot of regionals and stuff.
Yeah.
You're a youth celebrity, but how much longer are you youth? When are you going adult? I'm assuming you're going to go to college and stuff if you're not already.
Yeah. What do we got for colleges, or can you let that cat out of the bag?
Yeah, you can go ahead and just make that announcement right here, right now, if you'd like.
Maybe a shocker soon.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're going to be a shocker, right? Come on.
Yeah, kind of have to be.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about tonight that was kind of a big news thing was the McKendree girls team.
What, McKendree or Weber?
Weber, not McKendree. I don't know why I said
Yeah.
McKendree. Yeah, the Weber girls team.
Yeah, what Weber girls team?
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's not funny, but yeah, just pulled the regional of Wichita. Getting a good feel for North Rock. Be bowling there a lot.
A verbal commit to WSU. Okay, so you are going to be a shocker.
Be bowling North
Shocker.
Rock a lot.
Well, you'll see us a lot then because we're down to Wichita quite a bit.
Yeah. Yep. Josh Hammonds be one of your teammates. He's from Topeka.
Yep, lives right here in our hometown.
Braden
We'll be down
Powell.
there bowling the Swiss Trios. Now, that's a tournament if you can get yourself into. Find your way in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can the youth bowl that?
I think so. Josh Hammonds bowled it last year.
I thought
and
so.
I think he's
yeah.
on.
Thought
Braden
so.
Malish is disgusting.
Yeah, man. Brady, the Swiss Trios that Matt McFadden runs down there in Wichita, a former shocker himself.
Yeah. At the
That's
end
a
of
fun
the,
tournament.
like
you need to get into that.
third week of September, you'll be able to make it on somebody's team. Trust me, but it's like the coolest thing you'll ever bowl.
And it's not on house shots.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Anybody can tell you about it. So looking at the average list here, Russ was the top captain. Then we got James. Then we got Eric Moore. Alex Hardman averaged 230 this year, and he's
got to be an adult to bowl anything other than singles. I thought you could bowl the Swiss Trios. No, I think Hammond's went adult.
Oh, okay.
I think Hammond's went adult finally.
Yeah, Weber was spending an egregious amount on somebody. I saw a post about somebody did the numbers breakdown and said that they were in a money deficit of like $11,000 a student or something. And that's not even talking about the bowling team. That's talking about like they have this many people that go there and this many people enrolled in women's sports, and it was bad. So
yeah, it was ugly when I saw that. Well, that's Brady. That's our bad, man. We were trying to get you to list your youth status over there. Blame it on Luke if it happens, because I didn't do it. Right?
He knows better. He would have checked it out and made sure that it was up anyway. But yeah, he's still got some stuff in youth to.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised they won't let you do that, even if they're committing to put it in the smartphone. I don't know. That just kind of surprises me a little.
Yeah, because that does make sense. If you're bowling like a singles tournament, then you can just get smart fun money or whatever else. But if you're on a team that wins a prize, you can't exactly. It's like, okay, well, this one guy has to get it in smart funds, but then we
okay. I get that now.
That makes sense.
I get that now. Okay.
Yeah. So
260 women enrolled there. 204 are athletes. That's a big number.
Not going there for safe sport.
Safe sport. Too.
Well, the safe sport thing too. That's just awful.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Safe sport's bad.
Don't they require the PWBA players to have safe sport?
I can't even keep track of it. I know that when I was on the board, they made us take safe sport, and then they had that whole mishap with safe sport, and then it's just a ridiculously stupid complication.
Oh,
and
it is.
They tried to make, if a youth was going to bowl even a summer league or something, then every adult in the league had to take safe sport or something. If anybody under 18 was going to bowl in anything with anybody over 18, it's like, well, we can't do that because safe sport it was a several hour ordeal to go through it.
I think it's like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's just dumb. So yeah, I don't.
Shannon O'Keefe said she is going to bowl again. She said she is not retiring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sorry again. We tried to put you to lose your youth status. Blame that on Luke, like I said.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing by now.
What verbal commit to WSU. When are you?
He better be there hanging out, though.
Yeah, And of course, when would be your freshman year? What would be your first year of college, I should say?
Yeah. Sorry that we don't know, but I try not to pay attention to youth bowlers anymore. Just sorry.
It's kind of hard not to pay attention to that guy, man. He's a beast.
Yeah, I know, but just the
Peeps, I just bowled a 3 squad.
Say her name, but I'm staying away.
I get it.
Fall 2026.
So okay. So you're coming up then.
About to be a senior.
Yep. Coming up then. Okay. Well, then fall unless you're going to stay youth as into college, you could bowl it in 2026.
Just been a beast for so long that we forgot how old you were.
Facts. Now you'll enjoy it down there. We'll have to when we come down there and see you, we'll have to go to dinner or something with you. Go hang out.
Mm-hmm. Ginger's got to stick together.
Right.
I don't know how you pull off the long hair though.
I mean, me either.
Yeah.
So let's be honest. Now Luke and I always go down there and go to dinner and stuff down there, so we'll get with you, and when we're down that way, let's go have dinner or something.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know the USBC rule. I've been adult for a long time. I may be short and look like a youth.
Yeah, I don't have to know, so I don't know.
Have a pop.
Yeah. Have a soda.
Okay.
Pop.
I'm actually having a pop right now. It's Coke.
Junior Team USA, your order is ready at the bar.
That's still one of the greatest team names ever. We have to, with Johnny on our team this year, we have to come up with a good name.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to come up with a good name. All right. So it is coming up pretty fast. So we can change our team names after every game.
Mm-hmm.
In the comments, I don't care if it's now or after the show.
Yeah.
We need creative team names for our Swiss Trios team.
And they can be anything. And
they can be anything.
Anything.
But let's not go crazy.
Yeah.
I actually think we picked a show off our program last year for a team name for a couple of them. So it is Luke, myself, and a guy that's a good friend of ours named Johnny Clark. We our third dropped out this year, and we picked up a new guy. So I'm still waiting for another Power Rangers ball review.
Yeah, bowlers don't like to have fun, so unfortunately that'll never happen again.
2.5 Men, we've already done it.
Yeah, we've already been there, done that.
Nice try. Yeah, no, we've been there, done that, got the T-shirt. We also said Haas needs a step stool was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good.
It was actually supposed to be Haas needs a step stool for the urinals, but it was too...
It was too long. Yeah. We've already interacted that one out. Actually, I'm going to Lake the East on Sunday. I will need a step stool.
Swiss tree.
For those that don't know, I'm 5'4", okay? I'm not that short. Okay, maybe I am. The Swiss rollers. Okay, keep firing them in.
Let me see.
3 fingers deep. That's good.
Really.
That's a good one.
Out of OnlyFans. They had the fans, the bowling fans.
You know that's going to get thrown out there somewhere.
Yeah.
There's always some creative ones. We need a good one because the best thing to do is get the best name to get the center to laugh. You're taller than Boog. No, actually, Boog and I are about the same height.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk, we're like eye to eye.
Bait in the meat.
Menage a trois. That's a good one. Menage a trois.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
WSU clipboard holders. Not even Diddy's lube can help.
That was a good one. We should do Haas is taller than Boog.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Spencer has a big butt.
We're talking about Real Barge.
Yeah.
Man, Brady, if you're still in here, you're gonna have some you're gonna have some players on your team, man. Is Robarge, is he a senior now? Junior?
I think he graduated.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Really? Oh, really? I thought he was like 5'2". No, he's about eye level to me. At least when we have conversation face to face, he's about eye level.
Waiting on our bus.
That one, are you looking at names from last year?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, I don't see all these coming through. If you have to say you're not that short, then you are that short.
Wrong hole crawl.
Wrong hole crawl because of the brick ones.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, maybe I am that short. I am short.
God. Brandon Collins, Gabe Alvarez, and TJ Rock, BC carrying his minorities.
Oh God.
Like I said, it can be literally anything.
That's a good question. Luke and Jonathan, what is your go-to dry lane ball?
Gosh, I don't even know any. Well, after Pennsylvania, it's going to have to be a T-zone or something.
Short bus friends. For me, it kind of varies. I have a fatal venom I like to throw. I busted back out and started throwing. I have the Top Thrill, the pink and purple one that I had from when I was on staff. I've got a couple of them, but I've still got that one drilled and it's still faithful. So honestly, I don't run into too much stuff where when they get super dry, I have to throw that stuff. We bowl in some really dry conditions around here, but I can get away with my rev rate. I can get away with throwing a lot of times I throw on a high road or I have a Fate actually, Belmo ball Fate that doesn't hook at all. And I like to throw that when they're super burn up.
Brandon Bonner, Ryan Barnes, and Spencer Robarge. Barney's mad. What's new?
Barney's mad. Yeah, I know, right? There were some good ones last year. There were some good ones. We wouldn't know because we got our butts kicked because we were awful. And we deserved it. And we deserved it. We got a front row seat every game on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Front row seat. And that's not a good thing, guys. Not a good thing.
Yeah, that's a very bad thing. We got to see a lot of good bowling. It just wasn't ever on our pair.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's going to change this year. We are going to make sure as we get closer, we'll put in good work and going to go out there, make spares, be successful. We didn't make spares. As a team, we were just awful.
Yeah. If we would have just made our spares, I lost us 2 games because I couldn't make a 5-pin and a 6-pin.
That's hot. We can laugh at it now. We went into Sunday basically looking at each other like, well, I guess we're gonna drink. Kinesiology mummies. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Now we've got to come up with some creative, especially now with Johnny here. I'm trying to think with Johnny being at it.
We've been Have You Seen My Baseball?
We have been Have You Seen My Baseball? Luke's gutter cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not name that because we don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
That's pretty good though. I am excited. I'm always excited for Swiss Trios. I'll go down on Friday like I always do, and can't go to the Anchor. Front row reserved for us. I think that actually was our team name last year.
Well, I don't know. It depends because they shut down the Lizard place in Lawrence on the west side on 6th Street.
Salty Iguana?
Yeah. The Lizard place. Salty Iguana. They shut that down and it was open like a couple weeks later. So I don't know if I will have to look at that and see if they actually were able to do anything about that or if the Anchor's just gone because they just spent a bunch of money renovating the place and it looked completely different in there.
So I talked to Dylan and Dylan said it's got so bad that the owner stopped paying the employees and everything. I think it's done. I
mean, they remodeled it. They closed it to remodel it, and it looks so different in there that it's weird because the food was fine and everything was fine. It's just like, I just don't want to come here anymore. It's so weird. It looks so different, and it just doesn't feel like the Anchor anymore. And so that might have been the thing. They might have remodeled it and thought, this is all going to be great. And then everybody's like, don't think so.
Dino's is still my go-to now. Steak tacos are my life. Give me those steak tacos all day.
Yep. Dino's is the spot.
So I'd say on Friday we go to Dino's, and then for those that are of age, join us at the brewery. That's a little reverse psychology. You know what? Actually, dumpster fire is what we were last year. We should have actually 100% named our team dumpster fire. Front row reserve for us, though. I don't know if I want to put bad juju in there. That was awful from Jump Street. We lost to teams we had no business losing to. And it wasn't just one of us. It was from top to bottom. Luke was bad. Jonathan was bad. Bruce wasn't good either. So
yeah, we were all bad.
And if one guy said he was good and the other isn't, he's smoking that shit.
We were all pretty equally bad. Impressively bad, one might say.
Yes.
So anyway, let's see here. So Russ, James, Eric Moore, Alex Hardman picking.
And Eric, I don't think Eric Moore is coming back.
Well, Eric, and he didn't have enough games anyway, so he's out of it. Yeah. So Alex Hardman is actually picking third.
Yeah, he said, I guess he told his team that he's only coming back as a sub because of his job.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is you have to have 72 games to qualify to be a captain because it's 3/4 of the league, and he only got 69. Plus,
great number to finish on.
He missed a lot of time this year because of his job, so he won't be coming. So he's out. So Alex gets the third pick. He shot his high series on back-to-back weeks to finish the season.
He shot 840, didn't he?
Yeah, he shot 840. Well, oh my God, and that was so funny that Jeff White had the high set in the league with 839 the entire year, and he was bowling Keeler the last week of league, and he came in and he told Keeler, he's like, I don't care if you beat me, just don't shoot 840 at me because I'd like to finish with the high set in this league just one time. And you would think that you could dodge 840 when you've had the high set. 839 is the high set the entire year. You get to the last week of league, week 34, you'd think you could dodge an 840. And Alex shot 840 on the nose.
Yeah. That's awful.
Sucks to suck.
I don't know where those guys found 840 out there, and both of them are like straight players.
Yeah, well, and Jaden shot 834.
Week one, I don't know where she had it.
Big major sets in the league this year were just right up the track.
Yeah, they need to teach me something because I have no idea what the hell they were doing compared to what I was doing.
All right, so then Keeler is next. Then we've got Danny Bradley, Trent Overby, and Mike Hathaway is going to be a captain this year, and so Trent is going to have.
He deserves it.
He's going to have to figure out a different pick for the first round.
You mean they can't do the Uno Dos Tres thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Starframe.
Yeah. Jay Futrell, James Hoff, Rob Wagner, Paul Burnett.
James Hoff made it?
Yeah, he averaged 226.
Sweet.
So, yeah, he's up there. Then Tobias is not coming back.
Nope.
It's just too long of a drive. Tennyson, Jason Crouch, Jerry Jennings. Crouch did not have enough games. Crouch did not have enough games.
So he's back on the board.
Jerry moved. So then we got Bo, Ryan Klaus, Yuri snuck in there, Matt Carpenter, and then I think Zach Rhodes is the last captain. So then we've got Matthew Berg at 220. Well, no, Hathaway would have to be in there, though. Matthew Berg. So how did Hathaway end up with a lower average than Matt Berg? Must have had a. That's.
Is Matt Berg coming back? He graduated. So is he coming back?
I'm not sure.
Because Corinne's leaving, right?
Maybe. She's intending to find a job and move back home to California, but she might find something here too. She wasn't dead set on going home. If she was going to put some feelers out there and see what she could get.
We should do that team name, Luke. Team name, your mom.
Yeah,
I like it. That's a good one, actually.
So then Jeff White's at 220, Jesse's at 219, Ryan Miller's 219, Jaden is 218, Campfield 218, I'm at 218, Baton's 217, Kevin Burrell is 217. So we'll talk. I know that this really interests everybody. Talking about
Jaden and Jared are gone next year, so
Oh, they're not.
They're moving to Wichita.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So then Jaden's not going to be in there.
They bought a house. They're gone.
Mm-hmm. So we shall see.
You know how weird it's going to be without Freed in there? He's been there, feels like forever now since he's been.
Well, and that's Jaden's from Wichita, so
yeah, all of her family's
kind of moving back home for her.
It is. That's what they're doing for her.
So
Raylan will be upset because Raylan really likes Jaden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have to see what the. Again, we'll always talk draft stuff, but there's some people that are just kind of right on that line, and I'm kind of right in there where it's like, okay, I don't think there's a whole lot of I could average 225, but again, I could probably just going to average 220-ish again. And it's one of those things like, okay, well, this is a big average plus don't know if there's a whole lot of value there. And so the captain's picking first, Zach and Matt Carpenter, Yuri, Ryan, Klaus, they're looking for a Mark Henniger,
Who's the first pick?
I think it's Zach Rhodes.
So he's going to take Henniger.
Right. Yeah, well, I don't know if the personalities may clash there. Personalities may clash.
No, you don't say?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Matt Carpenter, I don't know what Matt's going to do. I don't know what Ryan Klaus would do. Henniger's not going to make it. Yuri would probably pick him if he actually got down to Yuri. But yeah, it's one of those things where
Klaus will take him. 100%.
It's just everybody in the draft last year played so hard for their second and third round picks that a lot of 215 to 220 average bowlers, there was even one that made it into the third round in the 215 to 220 average range. And it's one of those things that's like, if you average 225 and you pick somebody else that averages 220, you're going to be you really want to pick somebody at 210-ish that you think has a lot of value or something like that. Or, some of the captains are kind of in the middle, are going to need a 3-hole bowler. But if you go on ahead and get somebody that averages 218, 219, 220, then you're going to be picking a whole lot later in the second round.
You'll see a lot of those lower end of the draft guys. You'll see them picking the 2 teens in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe not. I don't know. That's usually where it falls. I was the only one that everybody knew where I was going last year, obviously, because I was the first pick. So
yeah,
I was taking Tobias. We knew that was happening, right? So
yeah,
he bowled well for me. So I can't knock it.
Yeah,
he was my guy, man. I enjoyed bowling with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'd 100% do it again. I would not. I'd take that pick again and again and twice on Sundays. But I'm curious to see where I fall. You'll go ahead of me because you're a lefty.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do have working for me is that pretty much my last however many weeks, you could usually count on me for at least 650. So
it's about what I shot every week. It felt like when I was doing anything.
Mm-hmm. But I guess we can finish off with, we never got to the PWBA show, but we kind of talked about it. But Shayna Ung won.
Yep,
she's on the header. Let me see. Read more. Results. Step ladder. Yeah, the top 5 were Brianna Klemmer, Shayna Ung, Verity, Brianna Cote, and Lindsay Boomershine. It's kind of low. Brianna beat Lindsay the first game 198 to 170. Brianna and Verity tied at 224, and then Brianna won the roll-off 10-6. Shayna won the semifinal match 226 to 192, and then she beat Brianna 236 202. So it was it wasn't a low-scoring finals, but it was low-ish. I guess I can pull up this. So they got the Queens next week, I guess, and so this is the pattern.
start tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, it's another one of those weird Nick Hoagland patterns. 45 feet, 2.3 to 1, basically. So that's pretty flat. There's about the same amount of forward and reverse oil. So nothing to see there. 27.5 mils. So it's longer, but it's not like super heavy. So that's going to make angles tricky.
Ratio is hard to read on my end. What is it? Set 2 to 1?
2.3 to 1.
2.3 to 1. Okay. It's really, really small on my end.
It's tough, and it's ice oil, so that will help a little bit. But 27 mils isn't a ton of volume for 45 feet. So that's going to be one of those things where it's, if you get the ball going a little bit right, it's going to hang. And if you get it in a little bit, it's going to go, because there's so much buff at the end of that pattern that angles are going to be tricky. And so this is one of those, and especially the one thing I do like sometimes about Hoagland patterns is that he forces people to play in different places. So that block out, he's trying, it's like, okay, it's a longer, heavier pattern. Most of the women are going to go dead up the outside, but he puts those 2 blockouts in there in the forward oil to make the angle issues worse. And then there's a little speed bump right there. And so this is basically going to force them inside, but they're still going to have to keep their angles more closed. So that I don't mind when patterns look like this. Like, it's not crazy like the frickin' US Open pattern 4 Masters or whatever the crap it was. The really stupid one from the US Open.
The hourglass pattern?
Yeah. Or the one that had the several speed bumps in it. I think I still.
Oh, yeah.
This dumb shit. It's like, that's just stupid. That's just kind of stupid. I don't understand why we have to do that. That's more for like, oh, I want to make something that's gonna rile people up on paper.
It just feels like it's overthinking things.
Yeah, well, and then it didn't. He's, oh, trust me, it's going to be higher scoring and whatever else, and it just kind of, nothing looked very special about it when we actually watched it on TV. So it's like, why did it have to? You're telling me that you couldn't get to what we had on TV any other way than this dumb looking shit that you knew that people were going to, get all up in arms about? I'm okay with this one because I can see the intent. Yeah, dude wipes. That's not bad.
That is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Johnny and I are big supporters of dude wipes.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll make it work.
But yeah, this one, like I said, longer pattern, medium volume, angles are going to be tricky. But wait a second, I'm going to take away straight up the ditch. I like that. So this is going to play like, you remember Paris, the lane. So it was the one that was really long and kind of light, and it just had that strip of oil that kind of went right down the middle of it.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of like this looks to me like a little bit of a riff on Paris, where they've got to play the middle of the lane, but they also have to keep their angles straight because it's a longer pattern.
Yeah.
So this could be fun. I kind of like this one.
See, I feel like a lot of these patterns that Nick Hoagland puts out allows these ladies to be straighter.
Oh, and that's basically the thing is most of the patterns that he designs are really tough. But that's been the trick, is that everybody has been I'm just going to go straight with your thing. Problem solved.
Yeah.
And so now he's trying to mix things up, and I don't know that what's up?
Lisa, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Soup.
Hey, congratulations on your gymnastics thing.
Congratulations.
What?
On your gymnastics thing. You mean the bowling?
Oh yeah, whatever.
Your bowling
You won.
W.
Yeah, you won something.
You caught that dub.
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
do you say?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She just got back from an orchestra concert.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Not her. She wasn't in it.
It's band.
Band concert. I'm sorry, band orchestra. Same shit.
Mhm.
Sorry, same stuff.
Yeah.
Same stuff. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. This isn't a rated R program.
Yeah. She
We're
can't
finished.
hear what I'm saying though.
Can you hear Luke?
What?
She said nope.
What?
Yep.
You see these things in my ears?
Yes.
Yeah.
It means you can't hear them.
I
Uh-huh.
can hear a little bit.
Now she's trying to hear it close as she can.
Yeah, see, that's too bad because I can't. YouTube doesn't want me to say it.
Yeah. Don't allow YouTube to say
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We don't want to be demonetized.
Yeah. It's like a YouTube's like the ticket thing in Demolition Man for the
Yeah.
you gotta find one credit for.
Well, you ready to wind down?
So much. Yep. So much for the 3 seashells. 3 seashells. We say that 10 times fast. After drinking.
I'd say it, but we'd be demonetized.
Yeah, after drinking something with lemon juice in it. The 3 seashells.
Seaself.
Yeah.
Seaself.
So, all right, that will get us to the end of the program.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Yeah. A couple weeks. I think we'll be back in a couple weeks because we're gonna next 2 weeks from now we'll be heading to Springfield a couple days after. So I
Look
get
at the calendar. So our next one will be 28th.
yeah, and we
And then-
leave on the 30th for Springfield, so we can talk a little bit about that. You can kind of recap your experience, and I can kind of talk about what we're looking at. So
Yeah, I could talk a little bit about the Baker too. How much fun we had.
mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I'm bowling in between now and then. I may bowl Memorial Day. I'm still on the fence because there's not a lot to bowl right now, obviously. So
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards possibly bowling, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Really depends on what stupid pattern they put out, and we'll go from there.
yeah, we most likely won't be there unless we happen to come into a lot of money that we don't want to keep.
Well, I hope you
We'll
hit the
have-
lottery.
Springfield coming up, so
Yeah, I get it.
well,
Do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hola.
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 Mm-hmm.
Say thanks for watching the breakdown pair.
Thanks for watching the breakdown today.
See, she's a natural.
Yeah, you are a natural. You should be a newscaster.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
This was episode number what?
107.
Uh-huh. She
Mhm.
used to doing the TikToks and all the
I know.
Ear.
the
You see her
TikTok.
Yeah, I know. She's ridiculous.
That went so close to my ear, it felt like he was trying to eat my ear.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, all right. Yep. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Give us the peace sign. Bye-bye.
Peace out.